Thunderstorms have a strange way of pulling secrets out of the dark. They stir something ancient, something that sleeps when the skies are clear. Some people say storms cleanse the earth. Others say they wake the things that should never be disturbed. This is a true story, a mix of fear, electricity, and something unexplainable that happened to 3 people on 3 different nights, bound together by lightning, thunder, and terror that never faded. It began with Eli Turner, a truck driver from Oklahoma, who loved the road and the silence of long, empty highways. One night, while hauling cargo through a remote route outside Tulsa, the radio began to hiss with static. The air changed, it grew thick, almost buzzing. Lightning danced in the sky ahead, illuminating the flat landscape in pulses of white. Eli thought it was just another storm. He'd driven through hundreds. But then he saw something in the rearview mirror. A flash of light, not lightning, but something glowing steadily behind him, like a headlight, only there was no road behind that stretch. He slowed down, but the light stayed closer, brighter. He grabbed his radio to call dispatch, but all he heard through the static was his own name whispered back. Eli, Eli. He stopped the truck. The moment he did, the rain hit like an ocean falling from the sky. Lightning cracked close enough to shake the entire cab. He turned his head, and there, through the sheets of rain, he saw a figure walking slowly toward his truck. It was tall, too thin, and seemed to flicker with every lightning flash, like it was made of static itself. Eli honked, screamed, but the figure didn't stop. Then a bolt of lightning struck the ground beside it. And for one bright second, Eli saw its face, pale, eyeless, mouth stretched open in a silent scream. He floored the gas, tearing off into the storm, his heart pounding so hard he could barely breathe. When he looked again into the mirror, the light was gone, but for the next 10 miles, every time lightning flashed, he could still see that face burned into the glass, like an afterimage that refused to fade. When he finally stopped in town at dawn, the storm had passed, but his rearview mirror was cracked right down the middle. The second story came from Lydia, a single mother living in a small cabin in the woods of Montana. She loved storms. They made her daughter giggle as thunder rolled over the mountains. But on one night in August, that laughter turned into something else. Around midnight, lightning hit the old oak behind their home, and the power went out. The air smelled like burnt wood and something foul, like wet metal. Lydia lit a candle and told her daughter to stay in bed. But when she checked on her, the girl wasn't there. Panic rose in her chest as she called her name over and over. Then, through the lightning flashes, she saw a small figure standing in the backyard, barefoot, soaked and holding something shiny in her hand. Lydia ran outside shouting, but as she got closer, she realized it wasn't her daughter. The figure was smaller, distorted, its hair was plastered over its face, and its clothes looked decades old. She froze, lightning flashing again, and for a moment, she saw her daughter standing right behind that strange child, mimicking its every move like a reflection in a warped mirror. The candlelight from the cabin flickered in the rain. "Come back inside," Lydia screamed. Her daughter turned her head slowly, eyes wide and blank, and whispered, "It wants to come in." The next lightning flash blinded her, and when her vision cleared, both figures were gone. She searched all night, rain cutting her skin, screaming into the thunder. She finally found her daughter under the porch at dawn, shivering, whispering about a girl made of lightning who kept asking to switch places. Lydia never spent another storm in that house again. And years later, whenever lightning flashed across the sky, her daughter would still close her eyes and hum, saying softly, "If I don't look,
she can't see me."
The third story is the one that still chills me to the bone because it happened to someone who lived just 2 streets away from where I grew up, Mr. Harris. The quiet old man everyone knew but nobody really talked to. He was the kind who fixed broken fences, shoveled snow for neighbors, and always waved at passing cars. One stormy night, he disappeared. The police said he must have wandered off during the blackout, but that wasn't the truth. I know because I saw him that night. The rain was coming down hard, the sky roaring like an angry beast. From my bedroom window, I saw Mr. Harris sitting in his backyard on a wooden chair, just staring at the sky. Lightning split the heavens, and for an instant, everything turned white. But in that flash, I saw something standing behind him, something tall, dark and wrong, its hands resting on his shoulders like a shadow that came alive. I blinked and it was gone. I ran to tell my parents, but they told me it was just a trick of the storm. The next morning, his chair was still there, but empty. The grass around it scorched in the shape of 2 giant handprints. The police searched everywhere. No footprints, no signs of a break-in. Just that chair facing the storm. Weeks later, during another thunderstorm, I swear I saw him again, through the same window, sitting in that same spot even though his house was empty. His back was turned, but when lightning struck again, he slowly turned his head toward me, his eyes glowing faintly like lightning trapped behind glass. Some say thunderstorms are just nature's fury, but if you listen closely during the quiet seconds between the thunder and the lightning, you might hear the whispers, names carried on the wind, faces in the flash, memories that storms refuse to let die. These stories from 3 different people who never met share one thing in common. After the lightning fades, something always stays behind. So next time you find yourself near a window during a storm, remember, lightning doesn't just strike the ground. Sometimes it strikes souls. If this story gave you chills, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more real horror stories that will haunt your nights. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next, because the next thunderstorm you hear might not just be thunder, it might be something calling your name.